What's going on, everybody? A quick little video. Make this as quick as possible. Pretty much the video is about a 2018 Dodge Durango RT with the 5.7 Hemi. And essentially, it didn't have an exhaust. So pretty much the video is just about the exhaust today. I'm fitting a couple other things in there, but do not get Flowmaster Super 10's. If you guys are wondering, I know some of you guys out there want that aggressive sounding exhaust. Maybe it might work for pickups, but for SUVs, it does not. And the reason why I say don't get them is because of the amount of drone that's resonating from these Flowmasters in the rear of my truck. And I'll get to the setup in a minute, and I'll try to get under the truck to try to show you guys how everything was set up. But pretty much, I have the Dodge Durango needed exhaust. I took it to a shop. I brought all my stuff with me. I had purchased an X pipe. I had purchased a dual in, dual out Flowmaster 40 series, 2.5 inch in, 2.5 inch out. And I originally wanted that in place of that resonator suitcase. So right now the truck, I took everything off. I took out the resonator suitcase underneath the center armrest, and I took out the two muffler resonators in the back. So all that crap is gone. I shedded extra weight. If you guys are wondering how much this stuff weighs, I think the suitcase itself maybe weighs about 30 or 40 pounds. It was pretty heavy to begin with. I'll try to see if I can upload some pictures. But all that is gone. So I took it to the shop, and essentially it was already on the lift. It was going up. They had cut a piece of the pipe. And when we originally planned it, was the X pipe first, and then this dual in, dual out Flowmaster. However, it wasn't going to fit in one area. It was going to be a really tight squeeze. The owner, the muffler shop guy, he ended up telling me, hey, you know what? We could just put this in the Flowmaster and forget the X pipe and install your tailpipes in the back. Or, you really want the X pipe, do the X pipe and then the Flowmaster Super 10's. So I was kind of skeptical because I knew they were loud. I didn't think they were that obnoxious. So it came down to the Super 10's, and the way he installed them at first, how they ended up installing them. The Flowmasters were up front, so it was a Cats, and then eventually came the Flowmasters, and then the X pipe, which is kind of, to me, the X pipe was always supposed to go up front before the mufflers, obviously for performance gains or whatnot. I found it a little odd that they put them up front. However, when you take off those rear muffler resonators in the back, you could fit a watermelon and possibly a melon. There's so much extra space back there. However, we didn't check it out. We just said, okay, in the front is fine. So that was a mistake of mine. I should have just suggested that from the very beginning, but I didn't. And I ended up having them installed. Now, it costed, with parts and labor, and should I say the labor, they did really good work with their welds. The welds were really crisp, really nice, crispy welds, nice bends, no blotching, no nothing. It was great. The only problem that I had was they were located up front. And I'll get to that issue in a second. However, the other issue, and again, it was already up in the air. I was on the lift. They had cut a piece of the pipe. These Flowmaster Super 10's, they usually run about $80 to $100 online on Amazon. And, obviously it was in the air. They had cut the pipe. I didn't want to get charged double labor. And I got hit with $140 per each. So that's about a $50 to $60 expense that I wasn't expecting at the muffler shop. So everything said and done, it sounds mean. It sounds aggressive, especially on cold starts in the morning when it's been sitting out there overnight. It is obnoxious. It is loud. It sounds sexy because it's so aggressive, but when you start driving it, either on the street or on the highway, the drone is what kills you. So eventually, I was satisfied with the sound, but I started having an issue of a back pressure issue. There was a hesitation and acceleration and deacceleration, and I was fortunate enough to not have the check engine light kind of turn on, but I knew if I left it that way, I was going to keep having an issue with it in the future. So I opted to have them changed out. And I think I drove around like that for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I had an unfortunate passing in the family. Our boxer of like 12 years or so, he actually passed at home. So we're fortunate enough to get him cremated in the northern section of the city where I'm at, and dropped him off. A couple days later, I had to go pick him up, and I figured I'd go ahead and stop by this muffler shop. It was a reputable muffler shop, great reviews. And I said, you know what? Let me just go in there and see what they have to say about this issue. So the owner hops in, takes it for a spin around the block, and comes back and said, hey, get in the truck real quick. Let me show you something. And sure enough, he noticed right off the back the hesitation and acceleration and deacceleration of the truck. And he's like, this is back pressure issue. This is all to blame on the back pressure and where these mufflers are located so close to the front of, like towards the engine, the front of the vehicle. He said, we can go ahead and put them in the back if you like. We'd have to kind of figure out a way to kind of fit them in there. And if you guys are familiar with the Dodge Durangos, the spare tire in the back that has a plastic shield around it, obviously to shield it from any heat, excessive heat from the mufflers. We went ahead and we cut around that. And right now, and I'll show you guys in a second how everything's laid out, the mufflers are slanted at about a 45-degree angle. The tailpipes are centered, but it fits. It fits perfectly fine, and they're not as close to the spare tire as people are probably thinking. But once I took care of that issue, he patched up. When he cut the Flowmaster Super 10's from the front of the truck, he went ahead and he patched that area up on both sides with some tubing, 2.5 inch, because I have 2.5 inch pipe from the front all the way to the back. And I went ahead and I placed them in the rear, and I'll show you guys that in a second. Everything works fine. Everything's perfect. The X pipe still works. I don't have the constant issue of hesitation and acceleration and deacceleration. I say maybe that issue is resolved maybe about 80%. I do get it sometimes, but it's not all the time. And other than that, yeah, I think I'm pretty much set with the mufflers being in the back. However, again, now I'm having an issue with the drone at highway speeds or at city, just cruising on the highway or just cruising in the city or in the town. I'm having that issue. I'll shut off the eco mode, and it kind of tames it a little bit, because I know from what I've been hearing, the fuel management system on this truck, when it's on eco mode, it does tend to kind of give you more of an issue as far as that goes with sound quality and all that. But let me see if I could go out there and give you guys a little tour of what they did. So pretty much there, this section here is where they had the mufflers. You can tell where that spare pipe has been patched in there. That's the X pipe down there. Got that on Amazon. Front of the truck right here. Might be able to see the cats right there. But that's where they were located. So that's way too close to the front of the truck. You have yourself X pipe. There you go, guys, right there. It's the Flowmasters. You can tell right off the back how everything's notched out. We cut that piece of plastic out there for you. Or for me, should I say. And they fit perfectly fine. That's all the space you have in there. That's it. That's what I mean. Tailpipe, 4 inch out. 2.5 inch in. See, they're kind of slanted on both sides. That's how they did it. Let's see if I can get it started for you guys, get a couple revs out of it. guys go. Quick little couple revs. I don't want to make too much noise. These do tend to turn to some heads. So, but you guys, hopefully you guys had an idea of how everything was set up on the truck. Again, the truck runs great. It's just the drone that's coming from these mufflers. So I'm hoping to go ahead and solve that. Today I received the Borla Turbo XL muffler, which I think is the same thing as the Pro X S muffler, but it's in the dual in dual out version. I would show you some pictures of that. However, the muffler that I got was there was a lot of scratches on it. Like, it had been tossed around on the floor. Someone went up to it with a grinder, started grinding it, you know, trying to polish it or grind it down. But there was definitely on the outside casing was definitely damaged, and I know it's going to be on the outside. But when you drop $130 for something that's supposed to be brand new, you're expecting it brand new. So I went ahead and returned it. They're going to go ahead and replace it. And that muffler, from what I've been hearing, it's definitely louder than stock, but it's not loud as Super 10's. So I'm hoping to go ahead and take care of that. Or maybe next week I'll go ahead and upload a video on that. And I also went ahead and I'm going to change out the tailpipes as well. I found some exhaust tailpipes, 14.5 inches long, 2.5 inch in, 4 inches out. If you guys seen the pipe, it fills in that gap nicely, and that's why I like the 4-inch. But these are resonated tips, so it's the whole resonated 14.5 inch tailpipe, chromed out. I think the brand is Different Trends. Once I make a video on the muffler, that whole setup, I will go ahead and try to drop some part numbers in there. But essentially, I got everything from Amazon, so it's not out of anyone's reach. Other than that, I think I might as well just give you a little tour of the truck. I do have the RT red interior, which is awesome. No moonroof, no sunroof, no adaptive cruise control, but I'm okay. You know, upgrading from the truck that I had before, it's definitely a huge improvement. So quick little showcase in the truck, all white. The rims here, the lug nuts were chrome, and the center cap was chrome and said Dodge. I went ahead and I switched out the lug nuts to all black, and the center cap is also the same color as the rims. Everything was from Amazon. Also, the tail hitch was from Amazon too. Came without a tow hitch, so I am looking to tow some shit with it. Pretty capable. Got it off of Amazon. Right now I just mounted my bike rack on there not too long ago, and it works perfectly fine. Bolts right up underneath the spare tire. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video short. I know it's probably a little longer than what I expected and what you guys expected, but feel free to send me a message, comment, like the video if you'd like. I would show you in cabin, I guess resonance, like how it sounds just being inside the truck when I'm cruising. This is just off my cell phone, so I don't have fancy equipment. I don't have the microphone. I don't have any of that. But take my word for it, you literally have to start, you kind of, not to the verge of yelling, but you're really raising your voice while you are in the truck. And people in the third row, forget about it. I mean, they're essentially covering their ears at that point because the drone is so bad. But yeah, everything changes inside. The music, if you have a Durango, these come with the pretty bassy speakers. I usually have it on 15 to kind of enjoy the music and not have it too loud, not obnoxious. I find myself kind of hiring it up to 20 to try to block out that drone. So there is, conversations are definitely affected inside. Okay, but other than that, guys, that's about it. If you guys, like I said, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Any comments, drop them. Constructive criticism is always a plus. Keep your insults to yourself. Ain't nobody got time to hear that BS. But other than that, like the video if you like, share it, whatever you guys want. See you guys on the next one.